What's next? Now.
Hi folks, so I know it's been a while, I've been busy finding a job and all that stuff. Haven't really been out that much from camera recently either, so I thought I'd just do a little what's in my bag sort of thing, just to keep the channel ticking over. I'll start off, obviously, with my camera, which is Nikon D7100, which is a crop sensor. It's APS-C, which effectively gives it a 1.5 times magnification, which is great for telephoto lenses, as I'll get to in a bit. I'll point out that this isn't actually my camera. Mine is in for repair at the moment because one of these little latches had been, I don't know, pushed in or something, so it was loose. So took it back to the good folks at Camera Solutions in Chester, great little independent shop, and they've sent it off to Nikon for me and given me this in the meantime to use. So thank you very much, Camera Solutions. Next off, I'll show you my tripod, which is Manfrotto BeFree. It's the aluminium version. I couldn't afford the carbon fibre at the time, which is like, look how compact that is. It's really lightweight as well. I think it weighs about 2 kilos or something like that. Unfortunately, I did lose one of the rubber feet in the field a couple of days ago, but I'll have to order some more of them. I'm never going to find that again. But yeah, it's really compact. Still goes up to quite a height. It's near enough eye level for me. The ball head on it is pretty decent. So obviously, being a travel tripod, it's got to be small, lightweight, and compact. I had no issues with this at all until I wanted to start doing panoramic shoots, at which point it became a bit of it just wasn't great for the job. So you've got this, I can't remember what it's called, it's Manfrotto's quick release system. Only a very small plate on there, but I eventually thought I need to upgrade this. So I went for this. I cannot remember what it's called. Again, it's by Manfrotto, but it has Arca Swiss attachment there on the top plate, which locks when you snap in as well. Really handy for panoramic is it has its own horizontal plane for panning, which locks off nicely. The main ball head is so secure. You've got your normal locking nut there, and then there's a separate smaller one, which is just the amount of friction on the ball. So with both of those tight, you can happily jump up and down on that and nothing is going to move. So that's them. Obviously, to go along with the Arca Swiss plate, I needed an Arca Swiss attachment for my camera. So I went for the three-legged thing L bracket. It's universal L bracket, so it's not specifically designed for any certain camera. But it just looks cool, doesn't it? Look at that bright orange. I love it. Honestly, since I've had it, I can't imagine not having it. It's barely been off my camera since I got it. Yeah. Along with that as well, they send you their three-legged thing Toolz, which has your Allen key, flathead screwdriver. There's a bottle opener on there as well for when you're out camping, and it doubles up as a carabiner clip as well. So that's one that always comes with me everywhere now. Right, next up, this is probably the main lens that I use. It's the Sigma DC EX HSM. It's a 17 to 50 mm, and it's really nice wide lens at 2.8 aperture as well. So even though it's a zoom, a lot of people harp on about their primes, getting bokeh effects and all that, but I can get bokeh effects quite nicely with this thing as well. Yeah, 70mm, it's pretty wide, and it goes up to 50 as well, so like, it's my main all-round lens really. I use it for my vast majority of my landscape work. Used it for portraiture, shooting weddings. I shot pretty much a whole wedding just using this lens. Autofocus is fast, sharp. The colour contrast of it is really nice, and it has the optical stabilisation as well. So that's really nice, handy for shooting handheld. So, right, now I've talked you through them, I can switch over my cameras. Now. Okay, so I've gone through my main camera and my usual everyday lens and tripod. For my video vlogging, I do use the Nikon now and then, usually with the Sigma lens, but the vast majority of it is just using this little thing. This is a fake GoPro of some sort. It doesn't even have the brand on the front of it. It cost me about 20 quid on Amazon, and so far it's been great. Obviously it's not the best quality, as you can see from the first section of this video as example, but for all that 20 quid, it's a great little piece of kit. You get so many accessories with it. I mean, I can clip it on to a jacket when I'm walking around town. I've got pieces to clip onto my dashboard when I'm driving, so I can have a little sing-along. I can attach it still to, that's another Arca Swiss plate with the attachment on there for it, just screws on. And it has Wi-Fi. 20 quid camera and it has Wi-Fi. So, for example, I was using my phone to record what this camera was capturing, and it's so handy when you're out and about, being able to see it properly on a bigger screen, that it just makes life a whole lot easier. Unfortunately, as you may have noticed in previous videos, and probably this one, the audio quality is rubbish. So I have been trying to do some research on a dictaphone and just the lapel mic, but in the meantime I've just been trying to use my phone and just record my audio on the phone and then sync it up later on. But yeah, we'll get there eventually. Now, for this camera as well, I would never use my DSLR on this. I have the Joby GorillaPod, just a little one, with magnetic feet, which is I've found really handy. So I can stick it on the car if I wanted to. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't come off. Like, it'll stick to pretty much any metal surfaces. And it's sturdy as, really strong magnets in there, and you're not going to scratch anything because they're rubberized as well. Great for wrapping around any tree branches or street posts or anything like that. So really handy piece of kit. Now then, what's next? Memory cards. Going back to the DSLR and my little camera for that matter, memory is so important. So like, in this DSLR I have 2 SD card slots, and they will be backing each other up, copying each other. So I have 2 copies of my work in the camera before I've even got home and backed anything up. Always have more memory with you as well when you're out and about. So I've got a couple of these, just little, pretty sturdy things. Must have about 10 memory cards in total, around 32 to 64 gig. You can even just keep one handy, just keep it in your pocket. But yeah, so important to have extra memory with you. Also, spare batteries. It's like I never leave the house without a spare battery. It might be a case that you forgot to charge the battery that's in the camera after you last went out and it's only got 20% or something like that. At least if you've got at least one fully charged battery, you should be alright. But saying that, I do also have a little portable charger as well, which I use with my solar powered power bank, which is another great piece of kit. That costs about 12 quid on Amazon. Some great stuff on there, to be fair. Okay, next up, especially when you're using a tripod for any landscape work, stuff like that, remote shutter releases. I've got 2 different ones here. This is a cable release, pretty generic kind of thing. Got the little lock on there for long exposure work. That cost me about 3 quid second hand in one of these camera shops. And again, second hand, I've got this is the official Nikon infrared remote shutter release. Yeah, I think second hand that costs me about a tenner. Does the job, but it's not great for long exposure. That's where the cable release with the lock on the button, that's where that really comes into its own. Put them there. Okay, lenses. So we've been through the Sigma. Absolutely love that lens, the 17-50. So glad I bought it. It was a toss-up at the time between that one and Sigma's 10-20mm super wide lens, which I still really want, but I am glad I went for this one as an all-rounder instead. This basically replaced the Nikon kit lens that I got with my first camera. It's like a lot sharper. It's a good bit heavier, but there's good reason for that. It's all glass optics. I don't think there's any plastic elements in there at all. It's super sharp, really wide aperture, which means it's good in low light conditions as well. Yeah, I can't stop raving about it. I've told so many people about it already. But next up, I've got a couple of prime lenses, both of them Nikon. So this first one is the 35mm 1.8G, which is designed for
the crop sensor format, but I believe you can use it on full frame Nikon as well. This is a superb little lens, pretty cheap relatively speaking. It's about 100, I think this was 120 quid second hand, in really nice condition, super lightweight, like packs down, what's that, about barely 3 inches in length. There's just no reason not to have it in your bag when you're going around. Yeah, 1.8 aperture, super sharp, really nice colour reproduction of it. I can't speak highly enough of that lens. This is my 50mm 1.8D Nikkor lens. So even compared to the 35, see how much smaller that is. One of the reasons for that is that there's no autofocus system within the lens. Looking at it, you can tell it's quite a... It looks pretty old school. I mean, there aren't really any dials or switches as such on it. It's primarily a manual focus lens. It's even got its aperture ring on there, but I believe on pretty much any DSLR Nikon, you have to keep it locked at 22 and the camera will do the work for you. Again, really nice sharp lens, super fast. It's such a fast focusing lens. Again, great in low light conditions. The colour reproduction I don't think is as good as the 35mm. I would like at some point to try out the 50mm 1.8G model just to compare it, but again, I think that weighs about 150 grams and it's just always in my camera bag. I need to use it more often really, but when opportunity arises, I shall do. That cost me about 70 quid. Super cheap lens. Yeah, pretty happy with it. So now, on the slightly bigger end of the scale, this is the only telephoto lens I own. It's the first lens I actually invested in after my kit lens. It's the Tamron 70-300mm SP USD VC, all that. So as I was saying, with the crop sensor, you have effectively a 1.5 times magnification. So 70-300 effectively becomes 105-450mm with that lens, which is a pretty good focal range to have really. It's great for wildlife photography, sports photography, anything fast moving. You may have seen my video a month or two back with the World Rally Championship at Clochynog Forest. That lens is what I was using pretty much all day. So yeah, it's really good. Its tracking abilities on moving subjects is superb. I can't really fault it, but then I haven't used any other telephoto lenses to compare. It's a little bit bulky, but you'd expect that. I'm sure it's not as heavy as it could be, which is always good, especially when I'm trekking in the mountains. Yeah, just a really nicely made piece of glass really. That cost me, I think, about £200 second hand, so you can get some pretty good deals on them. I think it's been out a couple of years now. Right. Next up, bags. I've got 2 camera bags. First one, this is one of the first accessories I bought really. Just again second hand, cost me about 10 quid. It's just a sort of generic Nikon shoulder bag. It's got a pocket on the front there, mesh pocket on there to keep your spare memory and cleaning cloth, spare battery, that sort of thing. You can quite happily fit your camera in there with a lens attached and probably space for another lens as well. Yeah, for a tenner, it's daft not to have one. It's ideal for just walking around town, not really knowing what you're looking for, just handy to have your camera with you. Secondly, this is my Manfrotto travel backpack. I don't know what the full name is for it, again, I don't really care to be honest, but I love this bag so far. It's been great for me. Got your main camera compartments in the bottom there. You could quite happily fit camera body with lens attached and all 3 of my spare lenses in there. It comes with a protective rain cover, which is great. I've had to use that a good few times already. Got numerous pockets on either side. It's just got Allen keys, cleaning wipes, yeah, just keep all sorts in there. Then top compartment, I've always got some microfiber cloths with me when I'm out and about. Again, another mesh compartment there to keep you stationary or whatever you want really. I've always got notebook and pen in there, and that's where I'll keep my filters, packed lunch if I'm taking one with me, and any other bits and bobs really. It also has, against the back, really handy compartment. You can stick your laptop in there. It'll sit quite happily and snugly. Then I've also got a couple of these just cheap plastic rain sleeves for your camera. You can get them pretty cheap online. These cost me a £5 or something for a pack of 2. And then I've also got some CDs. If anyone watches Thomas Heaton's videos, you'll understand why. It's really handy on beaches. That's all I'll say for now. And back on there. Okay, on the front you've got 2 straps there, which is great for strapping a tripod on. But what really drew me to this bag at the time was this compartment, which opens out, and that'll nicely fit the Manfrotto BeFree tripod. It's pretty much designed with that tripod in mind. And yeah, if you're walking down the street, you can have it in there. You can usually zip it back up again as well. No one will even know strictly that it's a camera bag. They can't even see your tripod. It's hidden away inside there. Saying that, more often than not, I'll have my flask of tea or coffee in there instead, and I'll have the tripod on the back. So yeah, great bag, I love it. Okay, next up, filters. Every landscape photographer loves talking about filters. Obviously you can, in this day and age, just do it digitally, post-processing. It's fairly easy to do, but I just love capturing that effect and that atmosphere in camera in the first place, and to be able to do so, very often you need some filters. I did use Lee filters to start off with, as many do. They're pretty much the biggest name out there in terms of filter systems. But I decided, so I was using the Big Stopper, the 10 stop ND filter, and I was always getting this blue cast across my photo, which you can remove to an extent in post-processing, but you're paying 100 quid, if not more, for a piece of glass that big, that you shouldn't have to put much more work into it. So I made the switch to Formatt Hitech. So I've got here the Formatt Hitech Firecrest filter system, which is great. Seriously. As with the Lees, you'll have your adapter rings for whatever lens that you're using. Looks pretty similar filter holder to most. Got 2 slots for your filters, but one big thing with this Firecrest system is you have these blackout sheaves, I'll call them, which means that once your filters are in, you've got your rubberized ring around there to stop any light from coming in from the sides or anything, but these really do make a difference. I've had it a few times where I've been trying to do long exposure shots and there's something just a bit too bright, the sun's glaring or something, and it's ended up with a nice pink line straight through my photo after I've waited 10 minutes for it. Yeah, I've not had that trouble with this system yet. Another great thing about this system is you actually get a 82mm circular polarizer as a part of the kit. So you have your adapter ring on there, and then you screw the circular polarizer onto the adapter ring, and it just pops in, easy as that. And on the side here you actually have a little dial to turn the polarizer, which I think is a superb piece of engineering. I mean, this kit I think cost about £160, but bear in mind with the Lee system, if you want to get their 105mm circular polarizer, that costs, I think it's upwards of £130. It might be more, I'm not too sure, but then you have to buy the adapters to fit that onto your holder in the first place, and their holder, the foundation kit itself, costs a good £40 or £50, so you're looking at a lot more money. This costs £160. You get the polarizer with it and 3 or 4 different size adapter rings with the kit to begin with, before you even start about different filters. So I'm really happy with this piece of kit. Now, at the moment, like I say, I used to be with Lee, but I sold all of my Lee gear, including the big stopper, and I used to have their hard Grad ND filter set as well. I have replaced them with the Formatt Hitech resin soft ND Grads. I would like to get some hard edges again, because I think they're great for especially seascapes, anything with a nice flat horizon. But the soft edges, I think they are a lot more useful in more mountainous surroundings, or where you've got variable tree lines, anything like that. Pretty happy with these so far. They're not the Firecrest ones. Eventually, at some point, I might think about it, but for the time being, these will do. And with the holder kit as well, you do get a nice little pouch like that. But I also have this one from MindShift. This cost me about £35–40. Yeah, it's a nice. I quite like the horizontal design as opposed to Lee and Low Pro. Their pouches are usually vertical like that. I do quite like the horizontal design. Inside, this is your actual filter pouch. I also really like the fact that you can just take that out whenever you want. With that in there, even when it's packed with filters, you do still have a good bit of room for all sorts of other stuff. So I've usually got some wipes in there. There's a couple of different clips like this, which come with the holder system again. So once your filters are in there, you clip them on, and it is a complete blackout, except for your subject. There is no light at all coming in from the sides. There's a really great sturdy belt strap on the back here, as well as a little clip there, which is great for anything really, whatever you can think of. There's another pouch at the front, which I've usually got packed full of all the different Allen keys and screwdrivers that you could possibly need when you're out in the field, whether it's adjusting your tripod or tightening something on your filter system. I've got all of those ready in there. Then the actual filter pouch, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good sized pouches like that to keep your Grads and your ND square filters. You also have plenty of space in there for any circular filters that you have. These will quite happily accommodate for the circular polarizer on there, and I've got a couple of other circular filters. So the circular polarizer there for my that fits my 35mm and my 50mm, so they'll fit nice and snugly in these pockets. And then you've got yet another pocket on the front there as well. I'm yet to find a use for that one, but it's there if you need it. Okay, put those away. Talking about circular filters, I do also have this little pouch. So I've got a few, mainly just ultraviolet filters, which I use really just for protection, to protect the front element of my lens. if I know that I'm going to be out in rough conditions or anything like that, I'll whack one of them on, and it's just a little more peace of mind. I've got the same for the smaller filters as well, smaller lenses, sorry, as well as my telephoto, and also I've got a couple off a film camera that I've got knocking around as well, so they all fit neatly into there. Jobs are good. And I think that pouch cost me about £5 online. And last piece of hardware that I use really is my flash gun. I was dead happy with this find. Bargain of the year. It's a Nissin DI622 made for Nikon. So it's got the iTTL integrated with it, so it's practically point and shoot. It'll do all the measurements for you. Takes 4 AA batteries, which I just keep inside the diffuser there, which is a nice and handy way of doing it. It's got your diffuser on the front and the reflector as well. Yeah, it's a great little flash. It's nothing too fancy. I'm sure for the Nikon flash guns, like the SB 700, 800, 900, what have you, you're probably looking good £150 at least, depending on which model you go for. This one cost me £25 and it does the same job. Basically, you can still use it as a slave unit as well. At some point, if I do start doing more studio sort of setups, I might think about getting another one or two of them, especially if I can find them the same price. I'll definitely be having them. Yeah, great flash gun. Like I say, bargain of the century, £25. Now then, huge part of looking after your camera gear is keeping it clean, both at home once you've been out and about with it, but in the field as well. You need to be able to keep it clean. So just a few generic sort of bits and bobs. I use these Zeiss optic wipes. You can buy them in Tesco, cheap and cheerful, about £1 or £2 for a box of 50, I think. Yeah, they're alcohol based, so it just dissolves off the front of your lens. But even so, I still like to use a cleaning cloth just to prevent any sort of smearing on the lens. I always have a few of these about. Again, these are off Amazon. Yeah, a pack of 5 of them for about £5, I think. So £1 each, and they'll last you quite a long time. I have got a couple of these lens pens. So you've got your cleaning brush on the side there, which is great, especially if you've got little bits of grit or sand or anything like that when you've been out on the beach. Get rid of the worst of it first before you start wiping it, otherwise you'll just be getting grooves into your optics. They also have these little, I guess it's microfiber on the end, just a little cleaning thing. Yeah, I was obsessed with this thing when I first started photographing, but I don't really use them very much except when I'm at home and doing a deep clean now. Also, blower. It's like pretty cheap, very basic piece of kit, but I use this quite often, to be honest with you. Again, especially if you've got any bits of sand or dust or anything like that, just in any little grooves of your lens or camera body, give it a good blast first to get rid of the worst of it before you start trying to dig anything out with your brush or anything like that. Alright, I think that's it for me for today. My voice is starting to go. I need to get a cup of tea. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you don't already, why not hit subscribe, give the video a like, and you can check out my Instagram, Facebook and Flickr accounts. I'll list full list of the kit that I've gone through today in the description of this video as well. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.